Okay, so we're chapter 1, sections 6 and 7, and we're done with chapter 1. I feel like so accomplished, and this is so fun to read the text. So section 6 is the illusion of needs section, and section 7 is distortions of miracle impulses. That's quite a title. So the illusion of needs starts out with saying, you who want peace can find it only by complete forgiveness. And then later on in that paragraph it said, until the separation, which is the meaning of the fall, like the fall of man, like the Adam-Eve situation, is kind of more interpreted in the Course as the separation which happened in the mind, where we left the source of, or we left the creator, like our mind split. It said, until the separation, which is the meaning of the fall, nothing was lacking. There were no needs at all. Needs arise only when you deprive yourself. Okay, you act according to the particular order of needs you establish. So it's saying like, yeah, because again, like as in my interpretation, my way of verbalizing it is, okay, so we are one, we come from our creator, we think, then we split off. But if we come from the creator, we have everything. So if we ever feel like we need something, it's just because we've deprived ourselves of knowing who we are. So we've cut off this direct link to the creator and to the infinite source of life, which could not even possibly have a need. So again, the section being the illusion of needs. And so just how we have like a false perception of ourselves, which is, again, if we know who we are, we just like everything else is resolved. So it says later, a sense of separation from God is the only lack you really need correct. Okay. And on and on. Okay. And so that was kind of the illusion of needs, is, again, to me, in my words, is coming about because we don't really know who we really are, or we have forgotten. And not everyone, some people I think know, and they know who they are. And, you know, we might have a temporary need, like to use the bathroom, or, you know, but that's just like a different need than like any void or emptiness within ourselves, rather than just a physical, you know, need and like a bodily need. Okay. And then later it kind of talked about, it says, all aspects of fear are untrue because they do not exist at the creative level and therefore do not exist at all. Okay. So then it's talking about the levels of kind of existing. You can either exist on the level of the creative, which comes from the creator, which is the spirit, which is the guidance, which is the complete trust. Or you can be at the other level where it's just you're separate from God. It's you against the world. It's you figuring out your life. It's you having to make decisions. It's you having to like analyze, or, you know, that kind of different energy. And so fear is not part of the creative level of life or creative aspect. Okay, so I don't think I did a great job with that, but those were some thoughts. And then the next section, the distortion of miracle impulses, ends up talking a lot about fantasy and how fantasy is like a misuse of our mind, but like how it works. It says your distorted perceptions produce a dense cover over miracle impulses, making it hard for them to reach your own awareness. The confusion of miracle impulses with physical impulses is a major perceptual distortion. yeah, to me, that's discerning, like whether you're getting this direct download of something to do or think or say versus this whole other thought system agenda, which you might be responding to. I guess I'll tell you this because it's coming up, but like, so it's just like, okay, I'll just say this because I cut my hair, right? Like some of you don't, but some of you do. It's so obvious because I had like really super long hair and now I have this like bang thing happening, which I'm just going to be so honest. Like I'm at the once a week wash your hair. So we're at the, we're at the day before the wash. It's looking a little bit like heavier, but I'm not mad. I'm not even upset. I think it's laying pretty nicely. 6 days later. Okay, too much information. But somebody didn't notice that I thought would notice, this kind of thing. Like somebody didn't say anything that I thought might, didn't even acknowledge it. And usually does say these kind of things, And I had this whole thing about it in my mind. Like there was this like, sure. And then later said it something to someone else about their hair. And I was like, huh, okay. Right. So my hair is just nothing, maybe you didn't like my hair. That's why you didn't say anything. Like my mind is giving me this whole story. And like that can be an impulse, like to go into a story and believe this thing rather than to be in my at the creative level, to be in my wholeness, my like, I don't need you to say anything about my hair because it was a guided thing and I don't need anyone to validate my hair, So there are these impulses of like the stories we want to get into and they take us places that are not fun. Okay. And so, okay, then later it talks about fantasy is an attempt to control reality according to false needs. Fantasies are a means of making false associations and attempting to obtain pleasure from them. Okay, and it's interesting because I just thought like, okay, fantasy, it's often like it's sexual, like people think it's a sexual thing, or it's just, but you can, like for me, sometimes like you can, scroll through and be like, fantasize your life is different, or you can be fantasizing in a negative way about like telling someone off, you can just, yeah. So then later it says, fantasies become totally unnecessary as the wholly satisfying nature of reality becomes apparent to both giver and receiver. That was my favorite line because it's like when you do see the miracle of life, you do not need to have a fantasy, When you see when you know your magnificence, not because you won Miss America or everyone tells you you're gorgeous or you finally hit your goal weight or you have all the money you wanted to have, or I'm just giving terrible examples, like we're not this all shallow, but and I didn't mean to say shallow because I'm sure Miss America could be like the most miraculously guided woman, who knows, just to say, when you know who you really are, there's nothing external you need to validate that, and then you don't need to fantasize about something better than this because you're already made it. And I love that because that's what I like my life to become, like just so satisfied because I am, first of all, kind and loving to myself, because I cherish myself, because I know I'm a divine child of God, or I am divine, So later says, this is a course in mind training. And that's a famous line. That's very famous. So then I underlined it. When you're a student of the Course in Miracles and you hear all these lines everywhere, but then when you actually read the text, it's like reading the Bible or something else where you're like, oh, that's where this is from. Like I never read it like from a beginning or anything. Yeah, okay, I started something. Some of the latter parts of the course rest heavily on these earlier sections. Not, okay, so it's saying really like these early sections are crucial to your success in doing the workbook lessons. Because once you have these foundational like tenets or principles, it's easier to practice, you know, and know what you're practicing, even though the course tells you you don't even have to believe or understand anything you're doing. It's gonna work. Okay, so those are some of my musings, and I can't believe we read chapter 1. I don't know how many chapters there are, like 30 something. I don't know if we're on pace to finish at the end of the year, but I'll finish when I finish. Chapter 23, chapter 31. Ooh, chapter 31. There are 31 chapters. We have 30 left. We're on our way. We read the first one in a week. Oh my God, we're doing this. Oh my God, it's so exciting. So thank you for tuning in. Yeah, peace out. Okay, new earrings, new earrings. I got them from a local jeweler. They're my stocking gift to myself. Okay, peace out.